What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. I don't want to call Gerry dramatic, but Gerry acting kind of dramatic. I don't want to call him dramatic, but Gerry's acting kind of dramatic, okay? But welcome back to the Golden Bachelor Season 1, Episode 6. It's hometown, y'all. It's hometowns. Before we get started, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, I hope that this is the video that convinces you to subscribe. I feel like I'm Bachelor Nation now, y'all. I'm Bachelor Nation. I have been convinced to cover the show that starts in January, so you guys go ahead, if you've been enjoying this, hit that subscribe button so we'll both be ready come January. All right. So let's talk about these hometowns. All right. First things first, we go see Teresa's family in New Jersey. So Teresa is saying how she has not introduced her family to any guy since her husband passed away. So today, Gerry is going to meet her daughter Jen, her husband, her kids, and then her two sisters. So she's telling her sisters that she could just feel Gerry right away. She knew that Gerry was going to be the one, honey, from the moment that she first saw him. She starts telling them how she showed up, and she was like, "It's my birthday. Here's my birthday suit." And she had on that little, lingerie. That's what Teresa was on. And you can tell that her family was like, "Oh." Oh. So she tells her sister that she's starting to fall in love with Gerry, and they're excited. They're like, what about the other two women? So Teresa is nervous about the other two women, Faith and Leslie, mainly from what I got gathered from it. Teresa's only issue is that they're younger. So Teresa, I think, is 70 something, but Faith and Leslie are in their 60s. Gerry's outside talking to the grandkids, and they were like, "Grandma comes over a lot because she's lonely. It be your own kids. It be your own people." They ain't had to say she was lonely. You could just say Grandma comes over a lot, but kids don't know no better. He then asked the kids, like, "What's a really interesting fact about your grandma?" And basically, Teresa do duck lips when she take a selfie. I've never been a duck lips type of girl. I already have big lips, so I don't need to enhance them with the duck lips of it all. But I can see Teresa. Teresa gives a duck lips tease. I can see that. I can see it. So meanwhile, Teresa's talking to her. While Teresa's in there talking to other family members, Gerry is talking to her daughter, and her daughter is like, "What do you like about my mom?" This is what I peeped, okay? Everything that Gerry didn't really say anything about her per se. It was mainly about how she treats him and what she does for him. Did y'all notice that? So he was like, "She's sweet, but it's the way she looks at me, the way that she makes me feel." It wasn't, you know what I mean? It was, I don't know, it definitely gave Gerry wants Teresa because Teresa really wants him. It doesn't seem like Gerry wants Teresa just because he wants her. He wants Teresa because Teresa is giving him that fever, honey. So her daughter asks a very, very important question as to what is life like after the process. When you're back where you're from, she's back here. That's my mom. I see my mom is over here every day. So Gerry was like, when people want to make stuff work, they do. A word, because that's very true. Um, she then asks him, "Are you falling in love with my mom?" Gerry said that's a hard question and he doesn't know yet. That means no. That means no. That means no. If Gerry was truly falling in love with her, not in love with her, but falling, he would say that confidently. "You know what? I think I am falling in love with her." For you to say you don't know yet, you don't know. Because you aren't. So I wrote down that means no in capital letters. Her sisters then tell Gerry that, she's genuinely happy. We haven't seen her this happy in a while. Like, she's been looking for her guy. She found her guy, and it's you. I said, ooh, the manipulate of it all. The manipulation is wild. And these are with women of a certain age. I can't wait to watch The Real Bachelor. I won't say the real, but y'all know what I mean. The Real Bachelor and Bachelorette to see how these people cut the food. This is manipulative. Nonetheless, they finished out the night at the Jersey Shore. I said, look at here. But they're at the boardwalk on the Ferris wheel. And Teresa says once again how she can't imagine her life without Gerry, and she's in love with Gerry, and she wants to be with Gerry forever. And so they kiss, because you know that's what Gerry likes to do. Gerry is now in his confessional talking about now I think I know how I feel about Teresa. I think I know. This is the love that I'm looking for. I am in love with her. Hot dog. I said, look at this. Come on, Gerry. Come on, G-Man. You really putting a lot on it. But okay, I hope that Gerry is sincere with whoever he ends up with. But okay. So Gerry also pointed out we could complete each other. Your relationship, your marriage is never supposed to complete you. It's supposed to complement you. So that's a red flag, but you know what? You got it, Gerry. You got it, sir. So we head on over to Washington State where Faith is. I think it was called Benson City or Benson Town. So Faith said that, okay, so Faith lives a very laid back country, minimalistic, simple life. Like she said, she takes her horse to the grocery store. Her biggest concern, her biggest worry is that this might be too slow of a lifestyle, too country for Gerry, who I'm assuming is from a big city. So Faith has her sons, her grandkids, and her sisters there. So before they all go meet up with the family, they're riding her horse. Well, she has a horse, and then another horse is there, and they're riding them around. And she's telling Gerry, like, "Is this too slow for you? Too laid back?" Gerry said, "This is perfect." Now, I like Gerry, I do, but I do think that when Gerry gets around these women, because he's so scared of hurting them, he's so careful with not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings, that I think Gerry just says what he thinks they want to hear. So anytime somebody asks him something which might pose some opposition, his response is always, "Oh, well, yeah, it's okay with me. It's fine with me. I don't feel that way." I feel like Gerry needs to start being a little more real. But this your life, G. This is your life. So her sister, one of her sisters, her older sister, is telling Faith that, the way that you're looking at him, I know something. She said that the wall that Faith usually has up that's in her eyes is gone because she has let her guard down and she feels safe with him. And Gerry was kind of saying, like, look at how she looks at me. Like, I love it. And her sister was like, she don't look at everybody like that. So, soak that in. Okay? Take that and put it up inside of it, because that's not how she looks at everybody. So, of course, he's out with, the grandkids and talking to her sons. So when he's talking to her sons, they ask if he's in love. Without a shadow of a doubt, he said, "Yes, I think I am." Now, you told Teresa's people you didn't know. You don't know. That's a hard question. But over here with Faith people, it's a very, "I think I am." I'm not saying that you cannot love more than one person at a time, because you can, but loving someone and being in love with someone are two different things. Two very, 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 very different distinctions. Nonetheless. So they got the grandkids as usual. "Are you gonna marry my grandma?" And I said, "Ooh, the way y'all get them babies and sick them on these people." So he's like, "I don't know. I think my grandma likes you. I like your grandma too." Like, it was just like, okay, given produced, but okay. So her sister is they're all sitting around together, and Gerry is like, "I'm gonna miss her and I hate leaving her. You guys take care of her." They was like, "You leaving?" And they're like, "Oh, the other women." I liked Faith's family. I tell y'all that. So one of her sisters was like, I can just tell by the way that you two are looking at each other, you're in love. I told him that. And Faith was like, you said that out loud? Oh my Lord. So then he looks at Faith and it's like, are you going to say it soon? They say it to each other and they get to necking in front of all the children. Why do people laugh when people kiss? Why are we so childish as a society? Somebody kiss, we be like, ah! I don't know why. It is just always so funny to me when you see that like on TV on a reality show. So Gerry done told both these women that he loves them. Okay? You making it harder for yourself, my boy. So if we get to Leslie's family over in Minnesota, and I just knew she was gonna have a Prince symbol somewhere up in there because she claims that Prince wrote a song about her, but quiet as it's kept. So Faith has her kids and her brother. And then her grandchildren are there as well. Faith has two sons and a daughter. So she's telling Gerry how she has more than one sibling, but she wants to bring her brother Stuart, who's her older brother, because he's very special to her. So Faith recalls when she was young, Leslie. Leslie recalls when she was younger going to school and then her dad was supposed to pick her up. So she's outside waiting on her dad, waiting on her dad, never came, but her brother showed up. And she's like, yo, what are you doing here? Dad is coming. And he told her, I'm your dad now. Now, in hindsight, I don't like the verbiage because I feel like that's kind of weird. But maybe she's paraphrasing for us because I feel like I have an older brother, and I feel like if my brother came to pick me up, and I'm like, "What you doing here? Daddy's supposed to be here," and he says, "I'm your daddy now," I would be like, "Nigga, what? What?" So you know what I mean? Like I hope that she's just kind of paraphrasing and the verbiage was a little different. Nonetheless, she finds out that her father had passed away. Very super, super sad story. But kudos to her brother for, stepping up and becoming that father figure because that's hard for him to do because you have to think about it. He lost his dad too. You know what I mean? So it's not just like she's the only one that's suffering. He lost his dad too. So the kids get right to it. Her kids, are you bothered that he's still dating two other women? She was like, you know me. I said, yeah, we know you, Leslie. We know you, sis. But she's like, of course I am. So she's talking to her daughter. Her daughter says that, they are best friends. And her daughter is like, I just don't want you to get hurt. I'm worried about this. I'm concerned about this. Like, we don't want to see you get hurt or heartbroken because that's going to kill me. Meanwhile, Gary's over talking to the kids who, once again, are you a couple with my grandma? And it's like, why y'all feeding these kids these lies? I think grandma likes you. So we go through that scenario. Again, notice that Gerry didn't say back, and I like your grandma. He said, I think she does. I said, okay, Gerry. Gerry gives the vibe that he really wants a woman that's going to be all into him and infatuated with him. Like that's the vibe I'm getting from him. But sure. So he's talking to her brother, Stuart. Stuart ain't going. Stuart's not for the foolishness. Stuart said, this is weird that I'm sitting here talking to you, dating my sister, but you're also dating two other women. I'm protective about this. This is mine. This is my family. Not going. Her brother also points out that Gerry is totally different than the type of guy that she usually dates. Gerry said he don't know if that's good or bad. Her brother said it's good. And Gerry asks for her brother's blessing if they were to get to that point. And the brother was like, if y'all date, y'all come to me. Y'all want to get married. I got y'all. I got y'all. Don't even worry about it. So that's good. We get Leslie and Gerry talking at the end. Leslie tells him that she's in love with him, and damn it, Gerry says that he's in love with her too. Because now she can't imagine her life without him either. Gerry, you in a bit of a deal pickle, my guy, because you don't tell every single woman that you love them, you want to be with them, they could be your future wife. What are you going to do? Rose ceremony time. The first rose goes to Leslie. I said, wow. Color me shocked. I was shocked. Did not think Leslie would get the first rose, but here we go. Of course, Jesse has to come out. It's the final rose, ladies. We know. It's only two roses there. I just feel like, Jesse, I know that's your job, but like, read the room, sir. Read the room. So Gerry picks up the rose. He starts crying. He gets all, again, I don't want to say dramatic, but it is dramatic. Throws the rose down and he goes running out because he feels like he's about to lose his lunch. So he's overwhelmed. He doesn't know what to do. And then that's where the episode goes off. And I said, oh, not a cliffhanger. And then I guess we get a women tells all next week or something like that. I probably won't cover that. I'm gonna tell y'all now. I doubt that I'll cover that just because I don't know. We'll see. If it's super super good, I'll do a video about it, but we'll see what happens. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please thumbs it up. Hop in the comment section down below. I know by now I feel like everybody knows who wins, but please don't post it into the comments. What did you guys think about their families? Let's talk about that instead. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.